Hello, everybody. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show. I'm Skip Elsheimer, back from the beach. Had a family trip last week at Topsail, or North Topsail Island, which is in North Carolina, not too far from Wilmington, North Carolina. Anyways, my family loves the beach. I can tolerate it. So I appreciate you guys joining me. Especially that Friday experiment of doing it outside with all the wind and the weirdness. But we're back. And happy Memorial Day? Is that appropriate? I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not, I don't want to be glib, but, this is a day that's set aside to honor those that have fallen in the various wars and conflicts that we have had over the last several decades. And, it's now also marks, what we consider the beginning of summer and a good time to buy a new mattress, get a good deal on appliances. And, so there's a loss there. But there's also kind of, I don't know, I'll talk more about this, and I'll try not to be offensive, but it's bittersweet for me. I certainly want to recognize the sacrifices that people made, but for what reason, all that stuff. Anyways, holy cow! So what I have is a bunch of films that are essentially. Let's see, where is this stuff? I'm just kind of looking to see. This setup is just a little bit different than what I was doing before. Where did I put that film? Oh, it's here. Duh. All right. So I have a lot of films that were made during World War II, and specifically shown to people in the home front. The home front being the people that could not enlist in the military or could not be drafted in the military. These were appeals to buy war bonds, which were basically these little miniature loan certificates to help fund the war effort overseas. And the plots vary, a little bit, but the gist is this: here are your loved ones, your men, your husbands, your fiancés, your fathers, sacrificing their lives. So can't you sacrifice some of your money for this effort? So we'll start off with this short one that is... Man, what is going on with my mouse? Sorry. Weird UI problems. Anyways, this one I just digitized. It's from the Nelsons, Paul and Elizabeth Nelson, who are in Houston, Texas, who are also collectors, who have been scanning their stuff, similar to Oregon Archive. So anyways, this could be America. And oh boy, it's got some stereotypes in it. And it's all created to make you mad and get you invested. So here it is. This could be America.
This could be America. This is the way it might have been.
The Japanese Air Force spreads its imperial wings over the American states to repay our treacherous enemy for his attack. With bombs and bullets spreading death and destruction, our honored brothers strike as far inland as Denver, Chicago, and Cincinnati.
No, that's not quite the way it happened. This is the way the war looks when an American pilot takes a sight through his guns. Saigon, Nagasaki, Yokohama. That's where the war is being fought. And the pilot in this plane traveled 12,000 miles from New England to fight in it.
You know what got me? It was the green fields and the houses, even the roads. Hell, it looked just like Vermont.
Yes, from up here it looks like Vermont, or Pennsylvania, or Nebraska, or West Virginia. But it's not. It's 12,000 miles away, But just remember, these could be jet planes diving on Main Street, or the farmland just out of town, or the house next door. This could be a harbor in Texas. This could be a beach on the shore of Lake Michigan. This could be a small town in Iowa. This could be a river in Indiana. This could be a field in California. And this could be a 4th of July anywhere in America. Yes, this might have been America, but it's not. Instead, it's 12,000 miles away, and every mile was costly. Soon it'll be 13,000 miles away. And those last miles are going to be the most costly, in dollars and in debt. The pilot who took these films brought them back. He brought back his plane and his gunner, too. But he didn't live long enough to see them himself. Some of those 4th of July Roman candles caught him in the chest. But it's because of guys like him that these pictures were taken 12,000 miles away and not in America. How much does it cost to fight a war 12,000 miles away? Well, before you begin counting the billions of dollars, remember, it cost this man his life. We can cut down the cost of life by buying war bonds.
So this next film is Who Died? And it's all about the sacrifices that this character we're following makes. These were shown in theaters. These were shown at civic groups, community groups. Whenever there was an opportunity to show it, they would show it as a way to kind of talk about, this is important. We have to do this. And there were other sacrifices that people in the home front were making. They were rationing gasoline, sugar, meat. They were doing drives for scrap metal. Many of them were working extra shifts at local factories that were making things for the war effort. So there were sacrifices that the home front had. And it makes me wonder, like at some point, well, I'll talk more about this, but what sacrifices do we make when we go to war now? That's the big question. Is like, are we invested, or do we just send people on? Like, oh, you volunteered, so you're going to do whatever. So, all right. So this is Who Died?
I've just read that during the last week in February, 3,887 of our American boys died in action. Who died? I'll tell you who died. Not so many years ago, there was a little boy sleeping in his crib. In the night it thundered and lightened. He woke and cried out in fear. His mother came and fixed his blankets better and said, "Don't cry. Nothing will ever hurt you." He died. There was another boy, a little older. He came around on a Thursday afternoon. He was very proud. He was in business for himself. He rang your bell and said, "Want to buy a post, mister?" He died. There was another kid with a new bicycle. When he came past your house, he rode no hands while he folded the evening paper into a block and threw it against your door. You used to jump when you heard the bang. You said, "Someday I'm going to give that kid a good talking to." He died. Then there were two kids. One said to the other, "I'll do all the talking. I just want you to come along to give me nerve." They came to your door. The one who had promised to do all the talking said, "Would you like your lawn mowed, mister?" They died together. They gave each other nerve. There was another youngster. Why, it was only a year or two ago that he said to his father, "Oh, Pa, Johnny Johnson's father lets him drive the car, and Johnny's 3 months younger than I am." The father said, "I don't care what Johnny Johnson's father does. You're too young to drive a car." He died. There was another fellow. He married the girl he had been having dates with ever since junior high. Folks said he was too young to marry. When the baby came, people shook their heads and said, "Those foolish kids." The time came for him to go. He said to his wife, "All I'm worried about is how you and the baby are going to get along." She said, "Don't worry. I'll get a job and Mother will look after the baby." "I don't want to go," he told her, "but I wouldn't feel right if I didn't." He died. They all died. The little one who was afraid of the thunder, the boy who sold you a post, who delivered the evening paper, the two kids who wanted to mow your lawn, the youngster who was too young to drive the family car, the fellow who was too young to be a husband and a father. They all died. How can any one of us here at home sleep peacefully tonight unless we're sure in our hearts that we have done our part? And one of the greatest things that we can do for our fighting men is to buy and hold war bonds.
Betty Smith wrote A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, which was an acclaimed semi-autobiographical novel about a girl that grows up in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Super popular, and often the joke in many a Warner Brothers cartoon where a dog sees the book cover title and runs towards Brooklyn. Because dogs like to pee on trees, and there is a tree in Brooklyn. Okay. This next film is a little bit more epic. It's called Freedom Comes High. This was one of the first war bonds films that I got in my collection, and it's probably already vinegared to the point that I can't show it, but I digitized it some time ago. So you're watching something that came from a DVD. So here's Freedom Comes High.
Rhoda. Sorry to be so late.
Land sakes, Miss Landing. You are late.
How's the baby?
Not a sound. Went off to sleep like a lamb. You look as if you could do with a little sleep yourself.
Yes, we had an extra shipment at the plant today. That always means double work.
I don't know how you do it. Well, you eat everything I put out for you and you'll feel better.
Thanks, Rhoda, I shall.
And there's something on the mantel that'll make you feel better, too.
I was thinking the other day of the time I asked you to marry me. Do you remember how your father was looking for his pipe while you played his favorite tune?
Hanged if I know where it is.
Probably in your den in the pipe rack where it belongs.
That's probably why I couldn't find it.
Oh, please don't stop. I'm going to ask you something. If the answer is yes, just keep on playing. If the answer is no, stop.
Yes, Stephen?
I've been thinking, maybe you've noticed. Well, in any case, it occurred to me that... Ellen, will you marry me? Such a contrast to the way we're living down here. No time for anything but work.
How much longer to get this stuff aboard, Alan?
About a half hour, sir.
Very well. As soon as you're squared away, give him a breather.
Aye, sir. Are you expecting something special?
Why don't you ask the captain? Here he is.
Want something, Alan?
Oh, no, sir.
All the ammunition aboard?
Last load's coming aboard now, sir.
Good. Oh, how's the fever, Steve?
Going down a bit, I think.
You think?
I'm all right, sir.
You think you're able to make this run? It may be tough.
I've been counting on it, sir.
Tell Jenkins I want to see him.
Aye, aye, sir.
I guess you'll make it all right.
This means tonight's the night. I'd like to have a few minutes, sir, before I dispatch a mail order.
Sure, Steve. Go ahead.
Darling, things are happening I wish I could talk about. Tonight, I have the same feelings I had the night I decided to go.
But, Steve, this is a young man's war.
Well, I've always considered myself a well-preserved old man.
Oh, stop joking. How about your job? Isn't that important?
Yeah, sure, it's important. But there are plenty of other fellows who can do it.
I guess you're right, Steve. It's just that I want you here so much.
I know how you feel, honey. Because I feel the same way. But we're with my training, the Navy needs me. You may not hear from me for some time, but you'll be in my thoughts wherever I am.
Looks like your range is opening up a little, Hall.
Aye, sir.
Where are we now, Steve?
Right here, sir.
We should be there in about 35 minutes.
Yes, sir.
All hands. All hands. This is the captain speaking. We are now in enemy waters, looking for the Kobe Express. There may be some large ships in it. We hope to find them. When we do, I know you'll do all that's expected of you.
Surface contact bearing 285, true, range 10-000.
Aye, aye. Captain, surface contact bearing 285, range 10-000.
Chief, that's the Express. Commence tracking. All ships, this is 3-3. Enemy contacted bearing 285, range 10-000.
All ships from Division Commander, I'm changing course to 265. Prepare to fire torpedoes.
That puts us into 65-50.
Captain, that course puts us well within effective range.
Left standard rudder, come to course 265.
Come to course 265.
Prepare to fire torpedoes to starboard. Half salvo, broadside fire.
Prepare to fire torpedoes to starboard, half salvo, broadside fire.
Fire torpedoes when ready.
Fire torpedoes when ready.
Fire 1. Fire 2.
Stand by to fire main battery. Our target is the third ship.
All torpedoes fired.
Left standard rudder. I'm going to steady down so you can start firing.
Ready to go.
Cease firing. Ask controller for any more targets.
Control, are there any more targets? Gunnery officer reports at least 2 large ships on starboard bow. Ship bearing 040.
That was a big one. Too damn big. Take over, Jacobs. Yes, sir. Get it, bed, sir.
It's all yours, Steve.
Yes, sir. Get the captain to the doctor. Call the repair party.
Captain's been hit. Get a couple of
Engine room. Is everything all right? Good. Have you got control?
I think so.
Steady as she goes.
Steady she goes.
Owen, are you all right?
Yes, sir.
Enemy cruiser ahead, sir.
Control. Control, this is Blanding. Commence firing on searchlight. Jacobs, give me a hand on the bridge. Tell torpedo officer to stand by the bound cruiser. What are we going to do? Get out of here? Nothing doing. We're going in. We don't get a chance like this very often. But that's suicide. Torpedo officer, target is cruiser on starboard bow. Fire when ready. Torpedoes fired, sir. Left full rudder. Left full rudder, sir. Tell engine room to give us all they got. Engine room, give us all you've got. That ought to do it all right. They'll have to do some fancy dodging to miss those fish. We'll be out of range in a few minutes now.
Horace's lodge night.
Of course, Rhoda. I hope I didn't keep you waiting.
Oh, no. The baby's fine, your dinner's in the oven, and there's something on the mantel. Good night.
I'm sure you'll understand that whatever I do for you and the baby is more important right now than anything else in the world. The value of these things can't be measured in ordinary ways, but must be paid for in dollars and cents, and sometimes in lives. Freedom comes high. No matter what happens, I shall always be with you.
Oh, good evening, Mrs. Blanding. It's a telegram. It's from the Navy Department.
Yes, I know.
Are you sure you'll be all right?
Yes, I'll be all right. Stephen, my darling. We'll be all right.
Laid on pretty thick. I mean, all of these are laid on pretty thick. But I can't help but think that working for the telegraph service, Western Union back then, must have been horrible. It's like, all right, here's all the things that we got from the Navy. Here's all the things we got from the Army. Go ahead and go out and deliver. Because, to ask for a tip for that would be horrible, and just delivering just bad news after bad news after bad news. I mean, telegrams, I guess, back in the day were mostly bad news. There were some like, hey, we're going to be traveling to you, and hey, we had a baby. But, telegrams during World War II were probably really bad news. Anyways, so this, I'm going to watch something on the telecine. We have a film transfer machine here hooked up. I could not take this to the beach. Actually, I could have, but no, I'm not going to do that. Plus, it was like 3 stories up, so we would have to have figured out a way to kind of, so no, not going to happen. Anyways, I had a bunch of films that I'd already digitized, so we watched a lot of those. But in keeping with this is part of a series that I've shown a couple of episodes from. It was made by Coronet Films, but the series is called Are You Ready for Service? And these were films that were designed to be made to show young men who are either in high school or in college or trade school or on the verge of being drafted. This is made during the draft, so this is post World War II, but it was kind of during Korea, and I'm sure that it was probably shown also a little bit with Vietnam as well. And so these are films that are trying to prepare young men for what's going to happen. And some of the films are like, why would you fight? Some of the films are, and they're all about communism, actually. A lot of them are, the threat to the American way of life. But some of them are about the logistics, and some also, this is captures an interesting time where young men had to think about their future, and they were always concerned that they could be drafted. So you you get a job, and I got a letter, or I got a telegram. Again, the telegrams, basically saying that I've been drafted. I've been picked for the draft. And so it's like, how can I plan my future when I have this dangling over my head? So this film is called Your Plans, and it's number 2 in the series. Let's find where are we at here. All right, enjoy.
Well, hi, Mike.
Hi, Harry.
What's the matter? I thought you had track today.
Oh, I don't feel so good.
Oh, it's too bad. Oh, skipping practice to bone up on an exam, huh?
Well, there's an exam, all right, but how can you study?
Is this what's on my kid brother's mind?
Of course. It's on everybody's mind. Well, you should have heard the fellows this afternoon.
Yeah, boys, have one last good one before you go in.
Thanks, jerk.
Show your parents there's no sense in staying in school any longer than you have to. I'm going to quit and get a job. And I'm going to enlist.
Yeah, me too. Go on ahead and get it over with. That's why I'm going to enlist.
Enlist? They wouldn't put a uniform on a baby like you. There's another baby they're not going to put a uniform on. How come? What goes? I got an angle. What do you mean you got an angle? Come on, be a sport. Sorry, fellas, this is my angle. Aw, pay for my coat, will you?
Yeah.
And give my love to the general.
What do you mean?
He's always got an angle about everything. From what I hear, it's brains that'll get you deferred, if anything.
So what? You put it off a little, but it's always us young guys who have to go out and do somebody else's dirty work.
Oh, that's not the point. It's always been us young ones. Check. And all this talk. Well, maybe I'm just a born hero, but it looks like our job, all right. If it is, well, they can take me anytime they need me.
Sure, who wants to be a shirker, but, well, gee, I kind of did have plans on going on to... Sure, but you can kiss all that goodbye.
Yeah, and once you put on a uniform, brother, that's it. The end.
And it really is the end. What's the sense of studying or spring training or anything?
When are you leaving? Tomorrow?
You can laugh. You're not...
About what? Remember, I wore a uniform for a few years myself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to grab a sandwich. Oh, hi, Mike. Want a sandwich?
Might as well.
You know something, Mike?
No, what?
For a long time, young people have made plans according to a certain basic pattern of living. It's been... Well, here's the pattern. First, you go to grade school. then high school, then college, or work. Now, whether you knew it or not, you made your plans, most of them, to fit this pattern. What courses you take at school, how hard you study, what activities you go out for, who your friends are, whether you plan to get married or not, and so forth.
Gee, I never thought of it that way.
Okay. Now there's a new pattern. After high school, or working a while, or some college, most fellows will go into military service. Something new has been added to the pattern. But does that mean that you should stop planning?
So your point is, the guys who get along best will be the ones who make plans. Plans that include a period of military service.
And plans for life after service. After all, you've got this ahead of you, and you got time to plan for it. So?
Well, it sounds reasonable.
You think about it. We'll talk about it more tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Saturday, remember? We've got a job to do. Carry out Dad's plan.
You take that side, and I'll take this side, and we'll work our way out.
Okay, Admiral, here, you take this, huh?
Thanks.
Good. How you coming with your plans?
No plans yet. I've been thinking.
It's a good beginning.
I've been thinking about the way most guys have been looking at this thing. The way they've not been making plans. Well, like yesterday. You know, I was telling you about it. Some guys are always looking for an angle. But I got an idea that's just asking for trouble. Maybe they will get a deferment. But sooner or later, most of us are going in. So why kid yourself? A lot of guys figure, well, the job has got to be done. And they want to do their part. That's probably the right way to look at it. Some fellows are just sore. Well, I ask you, is griping going to help them stay out? Or help when they get in? You'd probably say they should plan for what's ahead, for service and their life's work, instead of just waiting for things to happen. But what can I plan? When I go in, I'll take orders and do as I'm told. What can I plan for?
A lot. You're getting right there. Think about it. From the day you're sworn in, you will start taking orders. You'll start living the military life. All right. You know what's ahead of you, so start planning for it. Think about it. Think about the many ways it's different from the life you've been living. And think about the many ways it's the same. Find out about service life. Talk to people who really know the facts. The more you find out in advance about what it's like, the more easily you'll be able to adjust to it.
Well, I guess I can find out a lot from you.
There are a lot of other people you can talk to, too.
Yeah, I guess there are.
But there's more to this thing than just talking.
Well, what's that?
Well, you sort of skipped spring training yesterday, didn't you?
I didn't skip. Well, yeah, I guess I kind of did.
Well, when you're in the service, you won't be able to skip spring training, or winter training, or any other kind of training. They'll toughen you up all right, but if you're smart, you'll plan for it in advance, by looking after your health and getting yourself into top shape. Of course, the services are interested in skill as well as stamina. So when you go in, they'll give you tests to help place you where you can serve best. The more education you've had, the more valuable a serviceman you will be. And I mean education for the civilian work you want to do. So part of your planning for service should be planning right now what courses you're going to take and how hard you're going to work at it.
You mean I just pick out a service job I like, prepare for it, and tell them where to assign me?
It doesn't always work that way.
I'll bet.
No, they're going to place you where you're needed the most. But you can increase the odds in your favor. And you're ready for any opportunity that comes along.
Well, that way it makes sense.
You know, Mike, you may want to make a lifetime career out of the service. If so, planning is all to the good.
But suppose you figure on just doing your turn and getting out. What could you do? Just figure on so much service and then forget about it?
Doesn't work that way. You know, war has become a highly technical proposition. A lot of men receive vocational training and experience that they can carry right on into civilian life. But you can't count on it. So what then? Well, let's consider this fellow. In his place, what would you learn that has actual application to your future civilian life? The same question might be asked about many college courses. The answer is, you learn how to learn. What's more, you learn how to apply what you learn. No matter what you do, it'll pay you to know how to learn and how to apply your learning. You learn how to take orders and how to give orders. Things a fellow has to learn one way or another before he can go very far in any kind of work. You learn how people work and how they work together. And you learn a lot more about how to get along in the world, provided you recognize these things and make plans to put the most you have into the service so that you can get the most out of it. Well, Mike, you asked for my advice.
Boy, I got it.
Funny thing about Mike, he did follow my advice. Turning out for practice took on a new importance when he began planning instead of worrying about the future. He was out to win in the conference meet, and he was out to get himself in top shape. Planning courses became more important when he saw that his future was something he could plan for. And working at these courses, really doing his best, seemed worthwhile, now that he was working toward a goal, in service and beyond. Finding out about service life became a subject for serious investigation instead of joke and rumor. Yes, everything Mike did came to have new meaning when he realized the importance of making plans.
See you tomorrow after school, Mike. Yeah, sure thing. Hey, Ken, I'm sorry, I can't make it. Okay. Too much to do. Too much to do. You know, it sure helps when a fella stops worrying and starts thinking and planning.
Coronet Films assumes entire responsibility for the content of this series. No responsibility should be assigned to any of the organizations that furnish consultative service. Weird. I'm going to rewind this. All right. So the question I wonder is, if we still had the draft, would we as citizens take any war action where our young men would be potentially put in danger? Would we take them more seriously? And would we be more conservative in us getting involved with conflicts? I have my feelings on it, but just something to kind of think about. The idea that when we go to war nowadays, what sacrifices do we make? I mean, certainly we're going to end up paying for it with our taxes, and there's other subtle things that we will be dealing with and sacrificing. But are we doing the things like, for every time that we fought in the Middle East, where there's a question about oil is being threatened? What if we began to ration gas so that we realized the implications of what we were doing? We were supporting our soldiers by making sacrifices on our own. Same with other things. I just wonder, would that hit us harder if we knew about that and we made that kind of leap of like, oh, well, they're sacrificing this, so we should sacrifice this. But sacrifice, nowadays, it's kind of strange, very strange indeed, given pandemic behavior. All right, so I've got to thread up another film. Normally I try to put a film in between, but I didn't plan it right. So, also, it used to be set up to where you could see me threading the film. Now you can just see my poor posture, chubby belly. I think this was an eBay purchase, as are most of mine. Most of my films that I got related to war bonds. And so there's the as we got towards the end of World War II, there was a little bit of fatigue when it came to raising money for war bonds. And so there was this a series of films that came out that said, like, yeah, we're almost done, but really, we're not. And we have to continue to fight, we have to continue to sacrifice because our men are still overseas fighting on our behalf. So, becoming a cooking show where now I'm walking around the room. Anyway, so this is what is this? Let's finish the job together. So this is kind of a rallying film. I'll change the title while we're here. Let's finish the job together. Having someone type and say what they're typing, it's got to be scintillating YouTubery. I should say thank you guys for your support last week and in general. You can support our mission by buying us coffee. You can buy DVDs at avgeeks.com. You can also tell the world that you like AV Geeks and what we're doing, how we're showing historical films that were made. They're not looking back, they're not documentaries, they were actually made during the time, meant to be shown to a contemporary audience. So they capture something that's a little bit different nuance than what a documentary that looks back 50 years, 80 years, whatever. But you can tell the world that you like us by hitting like, subscribe, ringing the notification bell. Comments are always welcome, and you can share. So let's finish the job together.
In making this brief talk, I have only one purpose: to stress the urgent need for throwing ourselves again with renewed energy into the task of winning this war. I want to make this point first with the employees of the War Production Board, whose loyal and hard work has meant so much to the country since the war began. Second, I am speaking to the men and women of American industry, whose amazing record of production has staggered the imagination of the world. Third, I should like to reach all my fellow countrymen who have dedicated themselves to victory and to the utter destruction of the enemies of our democratic way of life. Let me begin by showing you a familiar face. Perhaps you cannot call him by name, but you know him well enough. He is the youth of America, your boy, the boy next door.
But he's grown up now. He has the maturity which comes to a man when he goes out to fight for his people and to face death for his country. He is the primary reason for your work and my work in this war. We have a silent understanding with him. He is out there fighting to protect us, and we on our part are working to provide protection for him. Perhaps at this very moment, he is on a destroyer, cutting its way through the North Atlantic. Perhaps he is slogging through some treacherous jungle of the South Pacific. Or perhaps he is fighting his way through the fortified Nazi lines in Europe. Wherever he is keeping faith with his country and with the great fighting tradition of American manhood. For us, and all who will come after us, that fighting man is doing the hard and dangerous job that has to be done to preserve freedom against the enemies of mankind. On him depends every plan that we make for the future, every hope that we have for ourselves and for our country. He will fight until his job is finished, to the day of final victory. And until his job is finished, we on this side of the water must carry on with our war jobs. Every bit of energy, determination, and endurance we have must be thrown into the fight to back him up. Our best military and naval authorities tell us that the war is far from over. In a recent official report to the nation, they said, the first fascist, the weakest Axis partner, is gone. There is still Germany. There is still Japan. They don't consider themselves beaten. Following Pearl Harbor, Japan extended her empire with startling swiftness over the Far East, Burma, Java, Indochina. Now the Japanese dominate a subject population of 385 millions, hard-working, cheap labor that can be used in war production. Although the Japanese have suffered severe losses in aircraft, they have more first-line planes now than when they attacked at Pearl Harbor. She has spun around herself a web of powerful bases and major strongholds. Every base is supported by the others. This is what is meant by interlocking bases and interior lines of supply. At any one point we attack, we come up against the whole system. So far, we have only dented these defenses. This system is defended to the death. The task of destroying these fanatical
barrage is devastating. We still lose ships and their precious cargoes. Every month, replacements, food and maintenance for each man require another ton of shipping. For 500,000 men, this means 500,000 tons, 50 Liberty ships a month. From England, our 8th Air Force is bombing Germany systematically. We will.
I apologize for that. I did not know that that was happening. The way that the OBS is set up, I don't monitor that, and it didn't seem like it was a problem last week when I was here. But there's the new version of OBS doesn't support some of the plugins that I used to support. So when I upgraded, it kind of broke some things, and so this looks like this is breaking some things. So I apologize for that. Sorry. I know that was really annoying. So anyways, here's some TV commercials to soften the blow from the 1980s, early 80s, late 70s.
Mr. Keebler?
Yes, sir?
I'm the world's richest man.
My.
Your rich and chips cookies taste rich. I admire that in a cookie.
Our cookies would taste rich even without the chips. When we add lots of chocolatey chips, Rich and Chips cookies taste deliciously rich.
Uncommonly rich. I'll buy your whole factory.
Our hollow tree's not for sale.
I'll build my own. How long does it take?
Oh, about 100 years.
Rich-tasting Keebler Rich and Chips and coconut chocolate drops.
Baby feels so real, feels just right. Not too heavy, not too light. Baby feels so real.
Baby feels so real, weighs over 3 pounds, is so soft and smooth, even drinks and wets, so you can pretend it's a real baby.
Baby feels so real, feels just right. Baby feels so real, oh what a delight. Baby feels so real.
Baby feels so real, by Migo.
Applejack cereal from Kellogg's can be part of a nutritious breakfast.
Good times, 1980. Yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock. You're welcome to join me, and I will sit and try to diagnose what went wrong here. You know, we're going through a couple of different things to get it to you. We're going from 16 to through a telecine, through a Blackmagic Tyrannex box, to OBS software, and there's all these little things that could cause issues. So now that I know that's a problem, that'll be something that I'll be diagnosing, and hopefully it will be fixed by tomorrow. It's never easy. Never easy. But thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you at 1 o'clock tomorrow. As always, we look to the film can, inside the film can, to tell us what to do. And it tells us to please rewind and to love each other, and so love yourself. Reach out to your veteran family members. I mean, this is not really their day, but, you know, they probably know somebody who passed away, who died in the battles that they were in. So, yeah, they might need a little hello, check in. See you again tomorrow. Everybody take care.